Welcome back to another episode of Motogp Mac, and today we're going to talk about Jorge Martin possibly leaving Aprilia at the end of the 2025 season. Now, it was reported by motorsport.com that apparently after the first 6 races of the year, there's a clause within Jorge Martin's contract that he can leave at the end of 2025 in an early release clause for performance of the bike. Other places like Autosport are saying, well, it's actually he must complete 6 Grand Prix before he can activate that clause. So there's a lot of stuff going up in the air. And look, realistically, we never really know what's going on in riders' contracts. I've seen videos out there saying Mark is on this and Pecco's on this, and this is their bonuses. That information is never, ever, ever going to be released. So like this, I would presume in every manufacturer's, rider's contract, all of this, there is always performance-based clauses of getting it in and getting out. So it's not anything major. But saying that, Aprilia have said no comment when they've been asked directly about this. So, look, there's no smoke without fire. But I suppose, what is the driver behind Martin actually wanting to leave? Possibly, riders are very superstitious beings. Every time he's got on the Aprilia, he's hurt himself. And he's hurt himself in a bad way. And also, myself and Jake have always spoken about the big one. And yes, he had a big one in Portimao in his rookie year. But this is his first major setback. And I think this one spooked him with the chest injuries and all of that. A couple of millimeters or maybe an inch one way or the other, maybe he would not be here. So, definitely there is a little bit of a spook there, I think. And he's spooked of the bike. That way he's not feeling at home on the bike and this, that and the other. So look, it is potentially possible, but when and where and how the decision is going to be made, we don't really know. And anyone that comes out and said, yes, this is 100% what it is probably talking through their arse, because if you don't know how much a rider is truly on, then how will you know the nitty gritty of their contract? But what it did get me thinking too is, well, where really could he go if he goes anywhere? So one of the seats that is open is with Honda HRC Castrol, so the main Honda racing team. You then also have Prima Pramac Racing with the Yamaha. Jack Miller could be out of a seat there. You then have VR46. So it is kind of interesting. Could he go there? Possibly. Could you see him riding a 24 spec or a 25 spec in 26 there? Maybe. LCR Honda. I think this is kind of highly unlikely in all due respect, because I think Zarco has firmly cemented himself in there. So I do think it's highly unlikely. The Prima Pramac Racing seems plausible, but I'm just not sure Yamaha and Prima Pramac will pay the money, especially with the money that they're paying for Fabio already, or the reported money. It does look like Honda would be the place to go. And look, I've also said this, Honda needs a rider that's 2 or 3 tenths from the standard rider, which I do believe Martin is. When you look at how he came to Qatar, not a lot of testing on the bike, and was already leveling Bezzecchi. And then so I think he definitely has the pace to bring the Honda another leap forward. Honda also do have the checkbook to take on a world champion as well. Saying that though, it would be much easier for him to go back to a Ducati that he knows, loves and trusts. So there's a lot of options open there for him. But, I know the whole world is blowing this up. Every rider and every manufacturer and every team has performance-based clauses in their contracts. Nothing new, nothing major, I suppose. What it is, though, is maybe someone has got to win that he does have a decision after 6 races. 6 races have passed. He's only taken part in one of them, really. So, I do believe it's going to be further down the track. Of course, his manager is talking with every other manufacturer that has a vacancy in case there is a chance that he wants to get out. But I don't think he's served much notice to them just as of yet. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What do you think of Jorge Martin's issue? Do you think he should stay on the Aprilia and give it a go? Or do you think he should just get out fast before he injures himself anymore? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again